Latido, it's Wellness Week again. You thought you were sleeping on us, right? You thought we were gone? Wrong. Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wellness Week Live. My name is DJ Anthony, and we have Magnus over here. Magnus, how are you? How's it going, Magnus?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Okay, so Magnus, by the way, I always like to, and I've already put this on the YouTube channel about page, but we're always talking about health and wellness. Always check with your doctor and your healthcare professionals. We're just giving a conversation here. So, anyways, okay. So Magnus, you and I were talking, and I was like, "Oh, damn, Magnus got jumped, man. His face is all busted up." I was like, and then I find out you got hit by the cabinet. So,
yeah. Well, you should have seen the other guy, man. Hey, I look pretty. He was all messed up, like a freaking hamburger in his face, huh?
Yo, I said you looked bad, dude. I was like, all right, Magnus, we don't have to do this week. And you're like, no, I'm going to Rocky Balboa, man. I'm going to do it. But you're like Wolverine, bro. You healed instantly. Your face, so you got all jammed up in your face by hitting the cabinet. So the cabinet won. But so what happened to your face? Because nobody can see the damage that I saw. But
so it's just under my nose bridge. So it's kind of a tough place to get cut. So yeah, no, it scars basically about like. The wound was about half an inch wide, maybe, and about 1/4 of an inch deep. So it wasn't bad. It's just that it's in a weird place. So
it's on your face.
To get too close up. Yeah, and it always like bleeds a lot when you get some kind of cut on your head or your face or anything like that. So luckily, I can kind of fall back a little bit. This is one of the really good things that I learned when I did my military service, and that's first aid and not freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, I got one hell of an adrenaline rush. So, and once you kind of get through those first couple of missions, you get that crash. So I had to sit down on the floor for a while just to like breathe and let kind of the sweats coming out of my head. And once I kind of got relaxed, it was good. I was able to. My wife was out of the house, luckily, because I think it was quite a lot of blood inside of the bathroom for a bit. But she got me some like adhesive, like the surgical tape. So taped it up. Once I was able to tape it up and close it up, it was fine.
Yeah.
It just hurts a bit.
Now it's funny because when you were talking about this off camera, and then we touched on. Now we're going to get into this. One of the topics today is, how well are we prepared in our homes, at our jobs, in our car for an accident that is more than just a paper cut? So I ask you, the viewers, are you ready at your house where, of course you can call the ambulance, but between then and when the ambulance comes, or maybe you can't get an ambulance, you're out somewhere, in your car. How prepared are we as people to take care of? Now, I'm not talking about brain operation, but I don't know about you. I'm sure, like you, Magnus, you've been an athlete your life and in your whole life, and now, and you were in the military. And I was not in the military, but I've been an athlete my whole life. And I'm not somebody that hides underneath my couch. I don't Netflix all day. I'm out and about. I've gotten countless injuries. I've been hoisted to the hospital a bazillion friggin' times, and so I have been teaching myself. Like I was joking on camera with you before, off camera. Like, I'm ready to do triage in my house. I'll do tracheotomy at my house. That's how much crap I have in my house. I'm ready, baby. As best as I can be. So, your gauze, your alcohol, your hydrogen peroxide, latex gloves, tourniquets. I have actually 2, call me crazy, but I think you probably know this, but how tampons or I guess tampons were created was in World War II for soldiers to
Yep.
seal up wounding gaps. That's how tampons were created from World War II. So now I do a lot of competing in triathlons and stuff, and so I have a tampon in my trunk of my car in case I get a massive gash from falling or hurting myself. I can just push that tampon into any kind of wound and boom, seal that up.
Yep.
So again, you could say maybe it's a little gratuitous, Anthony, you're losing your mind, but that's me. I'm always thinking anyways, but go ahead. So Magnus, are you ready for accidents at your house?
Not really. That's kind of show you that.
Come on, Magnus, you were a ranger. How dare you?
I have a first aid kit and things like that, but we could definitely do better. The thing is, we have a pretty good cabinet with like medicine and stuff like that. We should probably get a little bit more like some coach tape, some more Band-Aids, stuff like that, gauze, like you had. And I think it's important to it's better to be prepared than not prepared.
Of course.
And another thing what that comes down to too is like going and taking your CPR course whenever you have a shot, if you're working at a place and they offer it, like always go.
Right. And by the way, to that point, I would even encourage people, look on YouTube CPR. Now I know it's not the same thing as being certified, but it's better than nothing. God forbid someone in your house needs that, or a loved one.
Yep.
And it's pretty simple. My understanding is I guess it's the American Heart Association or Red Cross has it down to you don't even have to do the mouth-to-mouth breathing anymore. It's just the heartbeats, center of the chest, to the song "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. So that's the beat. Dun, 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 dun. And when you're doing the CPR, and again, I'm not giving a course, but I'm just saying, center of the chest, one hand over the other, arms straight, not bent, and you have to use your whole body, and that's the beat you
use
do.
Use the body weight.
To staying alive. And you cannot stop. Once you start doing that, your job is to keep doing it until you pass out. So, or to the doctors, EMT comes. But it's
or
to stay alive.
Good. Or someone can relieve you and do it back and forth. So you have more than one person. So always help that person. I think it's super, super important. And I don't want to stop there too. It was funny because I was actually in our new home, I actually put our fire extinguisher up. So I actually put it in the garage. It's pretty easy for us. It's close to the kitchen too. So we have basically everything centered. And it's easy, it's grabbable, so you don't need to use any strength or force. You just lift it up and you can run in and take care of business.
Right.
And
fire alarms too.
Yes. We have carbon monoxide detectors both upstairs, downstairs, and in the kitchen. Connected to Nest, so it will actually tell me if alarm goes off or anything like that too.
Right.
And some people might think that it's you're being a prepper and it's too extreme. I don't think so. Having a little bit of thought, and sometimes it's not that you might need it, someone else might need it. For instance, if you're in a car, if there's a car accident, you're first on the spot. Having a first aid kit could actually help someone survive or actually hinder a very bad injury from happening and things like that.
Or how about you just have some Band-Aids in your car and your kid gets a cut? It doesn't have to be a life and death extreme. There's a whole spectrum, so people have to, again, no one's saying live underneath your bed, but I always carry a few Band-Aids in my car, whoop-de-doo. I'm not sitting there with a defibrillator in the car, but and you have your spare tire and all that stuff. But I think it's incumbent, again, I know you know this, but and we're going to get onto your personal coaching. What do you call it? The seminar that you went to, but it's up to us to take care of our lives. We can't always wait on somebody. By the time that somebody comes, what? I had a thing real quick too. This might sound silly, but I taught myself how to start my own car now there's a thing called an anti-gravity battery. It's this size, like this. You hook your battery, hit the button, boom, done. You don't even need another car. Sure enough, I said to myself, I'm being ridiculous. I'm never gonna what are the odds of that? A week after I bought this thing, anti-gravity, car dies, and it was awesome because I was like, all right, here we go. 3 minutes, boom, car back jumped up, and I was on my way. Versus I called AAA or whatever, you're going to wait. Who knows how long you're going to wait? This took me 3 minutes. I owned my life. I took care of things, me. I didn't have to hope and pray and wait and call. Bro, I did it myself. A 4-year-old could have done it, But I think we want to just abdicate responsibilities to other people, and it's up to us, our health, our life, the best we can. Of course, sometimes you need to totally get it. Anyways, Magnus, let me go ahead. You wanted to add because I want to go into your.
No, I think it's funny. It's good that we actually had I always try to see things from a positive side. So my injury was kind of it's a good way of actually talking about this and making sure that people have a little bit more awareness and have an understanding that you never know when an accident is about to happen or anything like that. So it's good to be prepared to have a little bit of a first aid kit wherever you're at work, in your car, even when you go into a gym or if you like you or your kids go to some sports activities. So you have those things. If you if you pull a muscle or something like that, you can put pressure on it straight away, and that will hinder it from like the injury getting really, really bad, and you can recover from it
Right.
faster.
You know, and again, don't live in fear, but yeah, common sense stuff. Okay. So Magnus,
Yeah.
let's talk about, you went to this, I guess, what do they call it?
Conference.
The conference in Nevada, was it?
Yeah, no. So it's called Coaching Con. It was the first
Coaching Con.
time it was held. It was in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is basically a part of Phoenix, so you kind of know the area.
Right.
So basically, it was 500 coaches coming together under one roof and talking about mostly like business and coaching. Not a lot about like talking about like nutrition coaching, things
Right.
like that.
It's
A little
assumed you
bit of
guys all
that.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit more kind of centered on getting giving your client a good experience and building a company and
Marketing,
talking to a
advertising.
lot of successful people. And some of them are close to like billionaires and things like that. So it's always interesting to hear their story and how they got started and how they're able to create their dream and opening up new business opportunities and relationships and things like that. So
Yep.
what we're going to talk today a little bit more is basically I pulled out like 3 golden nuggets out of 3 days. So
Yeah. So the first one you talked about was most successful people go through some type of hardship to achieve greatness. And I would agree with that. You don't achieve greatness by all you do is win and you never had a hard day. That's called trust fund, baby. But if you're somebody that really is going to be, great, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about money per se, but if you're going to rise to greatness as whatever it is, the greatest parent, the greatest hot dog vendor, the greatest surgeon, the greatest teacher, engineer, whatever, greatest friend, it comes with hurt and pain. So let's touch on that. So most successful people go through some type of hardship to achieve great success. So that was something you guys talked about?
Yeah, or like basically, I think everybody, like all the speakers, had that in common, that they've been through hardship. They failed. They learned from that failure, and they were quick to pivoting too. Once they kind of see that, okay, this is not a good thing, let's pivot and do something new. We'll try to make it better, and so that was interesting to see that, like, we're talking about, it could have been loss, it could have been financial issues, basically going bankrupt, not having like a dollar. It's basically, if you heard Dwayne Johnson, The Rock story, it's a lot of people have the same thing. They're down to like $7 on their pocket, and then making it, like changing everything.
Right.
But also having an understanding that overnight success doesn't happen overnight. It takes so much hard work and time. We only see the tip of the iceberg of the time and effort and the mentors, the coaches, the long nights and stuff like that's behind this overnight success.
Right. And you know what? It's funny you mention that, because as everybody knows, or most people know, I'm a business owner myself, but I think, I don't know what you think of this, but America, the land of opportunity, and you hear these stories. I had 7 cents to my name, and now I'm a trillionaire, and that's great, but not every American can do that or wants to do that. And so what do we do with those Americans that are hard workers? They're smart people. They're working 50 hours a week, but they can't seem to make it. I think we owe it to them, and not the ultimate, not the ultra super poor. We have to help them too. But your average Jane and Joe, who, again, they're hardworking, but they're not going to be a billionaire. They don't want to be a billionaire, but they're hardworking. So I think, we always hear these stories of, The Rock or this person, that person, and that's cool. But I would say it's up to us to be the best that we can be, and to be our success, our own success in our own context, not to try to, me compare myself to this person or that person. I'm better than them, or I'm not better than them, or I'm not Bill Gates. That's irrelevant. I always tell people I'm a trillionaire. That's how successful I am. Okay. Yeah. Who says that? I say that. I dictate what I am, and I dictate how successful I am or not. That's me. I don't compare to anybody else. I do me. But that took me some time to understand, because when when you're a kid in your 20s, maybe 30s, I'm comparing. I'm like, no, screw that. And I always tell people, how successful I am? Ask me what time I wake up every morning. I wake up when I want. That's how successful I am.
Yeah.
And who made that? I I have the jurisdiction over me. Nobody can tell me that I am not successful, and no one can tell me that I am successful. If I want to feel like a failure, I'll feel like a failure.
Yeah.
So anyways,
No, I think that's a really, really good point that you're making. And I'm like saying the same thing. The only person that you're comparing is yourself is yourself. You have to work on becoming a better person and human being, and a partner or a parent, whatever it is, or kid. And I think that is important. Like, success is,
it's relative.
we talked about this before. Success is what you think is success, not anybody else. And screw what media or anybody else is saying. You have to be in charge of feeling successful or not.
Right. And to that point, feeling handsome or not, feeling beautiful or not, feeling loved or not, that is on us. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, if I want to feel like I'm useless, then I will feel like I'm useless, and no one can tell me different. If I want to feel like I'm the best of the best, so be it. Now, obviously, I can't go around saying that I am a monetary billionaire, because I am not. But if I feel like a billionaire and I have a happy life and I am winning in my own way, that's it. You can't tell me, well, you don't have a mansion and you don't have 5 yachts. Yeah, and whose metric is that? Maybe I want that. Maybe I don't.
But Anthony, like, looking at it from your perspective is also like, I can probably guarantee that we could find a lot of people that have way more money than you do, that are miserable, that 100%. Hate their life. They don't have any time to build relationship or feeling that they accomplish things. Yeah, they have all the money they need and more,
yeah.
But they're not feeling fulfilled.
Magnus, how about this one? I used to have more money in the past than I have right now. And in the past, I was more unhappy than I am now. I am happier now with less money, less stuff right now than I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 15 years ago. I've had so much more money in the years past than I have right now. And I am happier now than ever. So never mind. I don't got to look at I don't have to look at somebody else. I'm looking in the mirror, man.
That's amazing. That's such a good thing that you're pointing it out too. Like you're in a better spot today, and that you're moving forward. And again, it's not like having more money in the bank. It's actually you are feeling more accomplished and fulfilled as yourself.
Yeah, dude. And it's like I said, I really, yeah, man. I've lived in nicer homes. I've lived in nicer areas. I've had a lot more stuff, a lot more money than I sit here before you right now. But I wake up in the morning, I don't know, I feel like I'm a billionaire, and I forget. I'm like, oh, damn, I ain't a billionaire. And again, so what is that? That's up to each individual. But I would say, don't make it about toys and shoes and cars and vacations. That's not where it's at, folks. But if you want that to be for you, you do you. Yeah. But for me, it's not about that. And again, of course, I like nice cars. I like nice homes. I like nice vacations. But it's not about that for me. And I feel bad when people are like, yeah, man, I'm grinding, bro. I'm hustling because I gotta get this. What are you hustling for? For what? Yeah, this newest car and my 19th pair of shoes, or going on my 3rd vacation. Okay, cool. You do you. But I think that's a fool's errand, man. Anyways, and so, but yeah, so go ahead.
So again, with hardship, like don't see it like you're try to see a positive spin from it. Use it as a learning experience and get better. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you with like going through hardship. It's like most people have in some way or form, and they actually evolve. It evolved them who they are, that individual.
Right. And by the way, your hardship is your hardship, because there are some people in my circle, and I'm sure there's people in the world that say this, right? Oh, shut up. Come on. You're complaining. Like, come on. You weren't on D-Day in World War II, so shut up. Oh, I'm sorry, because I wasn't in World War II. I'm not allowed to have a problem or a complaint, because if you weren't in World War II, you don't matter. You're a sissy. It's like, dude, no. Everybody's problem is unique unto themselves, in their context, in their time, at that moment. Okay, so who am I to say, oh, shut up, stop, hey, oh, stop. Well, who am I? I'm not in that person's shoes. And you could say, yeah, I went through the same thing. It was nothing. Yeah, nothing for you. But everybody's different. And then watch if you play that game, because then somebody else is going to say to you, well, I was in your shoes. You should shut up about XYZ. You know,
so that actually brings up to point 3. We're gonna go back to point 2, but that's actually communication. Like, good communication starts with actually listening. So, and I think that's kind of that ties it together too. That you listen to the person and like try to listen to what they're saying and what their experience and how they're feeling about it. Even if you've been through it or you've been through something that's 10 times worse, don't be that guy that just brush things over. It's like, oh, that's nothing. You should no. Listen to the person instead and have a little bit of like empathy. And just show that, like, taking your time and letting the other person, like, if it's called venting or just put words to things.
Right.
That's perfect.
Right. And I have to catch myself, because I think we all do this sometimes. You know, I hear someone to say, like, oh my God, I lost my great grandmother. You know, she died at 110. I'm heartbroken, you know, and I have to stop myself, because I'm like, that's a cakewalk, sweetie. You know, like, let's get into this pissing match. You know, I'll win. But I was like, you know what? No. That's wrong of me.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Like, there was a time I lost my grandmother, and there was a time that, you know, and I said, Anthony, I can't do that. You know, I can't compare my gains or losses to somebody else's. That's not right. You know, so when I see and I hear that person lost their great grandmother at 110, hey, you know, my condolences. I understand your loss. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to say. Not think in my mind, oh, shut up, dude. You know, that's not good. So we can use our losses and our trials and tribulations to be a better version of ourselves, to have what you said, empathy, not to say, shut up, you know, nothing. That's not right, dude. You know, like, that's not cool. That makes you less, you know, it makes you more if you're empathetic, you know, anyways. But
it takes so little energy and time to actually utter the word, I'm sorry for your loss, or whatever it is, you know. And you can also say, I can't relate to that, but it must feel bad, horrendous, whatever it is. Just showing that you have a little bit of humanity in yourself, and being positive. Because at the end of the day, how you treat a person is basically how they're gonna treat you too, in some way or form. Down the road, you might be in that person's shoes, and they're the ones that actually help you out of it, or give you that kind of tap on your shoulder or a hug and saying, I'm with you. I might not like understand what you're going through, but I'm here for you.
Right. And you know, it's funny. I would also tell people, if you have been shat on by somebody who kind of marginalized you, or pushed you away when you were in your trial or tribulation, and then they got burnt, I would say, don't seek revenge or don't ignore them. Be better. Be like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm here for you sincerely. If you really want to break somebody, you do that. You know, you don't strike out against them. You offer your hand again. You know, like, and that's what I've learned through me being on both sides, because I've been the person who shat on people and had been embarrassed, and I've been the person who's had much harsher circumstances, but instead of me marginalizing them, you know, life, man, it's tough. Anyways, so you try to, you know, so let's talk about communication.
Well, and again, it was actually funny, because now we're going into my second kind of golden nugget that we kind of skipped over, which actually binds into what we're talking about too, and that is surrounding yourself with good people.
Oh yes, right.
So again, there's this saying that goes out that the 5 people that you spend most time with are the ones that basically you're gonna be a mean or influence you the most. And I think that is important. It's also important that you do, and this is both in like your private life and in business, that you surround yourself with people that are good, that you can trust in, and that not trying to backstab you, but they're also being honest. So if they think that you're being wrong or something like that, that they actually point that out and say, hey, dude, that behavior is BS, or maybe we should do it this way, and things like that. So you don't want yes sayers around you. You want people that are actually looking out for you and want you to succeed.
100%.
Even if it's hard.
No, you're right. You know the old saying: "You are the company you keep." And
Yep.
if you, and if, or you know, if you want to be a better basketball player, you play with people who are better than you. You want to be a
Yep.
better cricket player, you have to play with people. And so in life, you want to surround yourself with people who are, you know, not better than you, but you know what I'm saying. Have your interest and you have their interest at heart. You know, I had a conversation with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and he was doing something that was, without getting into detail, he was doing something that could have hurt him in his professional life. You know, nothing illegal, but I was just like, hey, bro, you know, I felt uncomfortable to say it because I was like, I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer or the, you know, and so I think sometimes it's hard because sometimes we don't want to like, you know, disappoint or sadden our friends or family. But I'm like, you know what? No, I go, hey, man, listen, you do you, okay? But I just want to let you know, you're putting yourself in a bad spot, my man. You know, you don't have to do this. You could do this or that, you know. And so, sure enough, you know, he thought about it and you know made the right choice, you know. And I felt proud of myself because I was like really hesitant to say anything. I was like, I really don't want to. I'm not the daddy, you know what I mean? But I was like, I gotta speak up. And again, it wasn't like some monumental end of the
No, no,
life,
no.
but
But
you know, we let
just
things
being
slide a
that
lot of
person,
times.
yeah, you being
And
that person that actually point out like if there's a flaw in the idea or something like that. And again, you're not trying to be mean or cruel or anything like that. You were
right.
trying to be supportive and helpful.
Right. And I hope and I pray that people will say that to me too. You know, like, hey, Aunt, I love you, man, but I just want you to know, like, okay, well, I disagree with you, but thank you very much. Or, oh, okay, let me think about that. You know, like
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But I think we're always, you know, it's human nature, right? Not to rock the boat, really, especially with friends and family. You know, we're easy to rock the boat with people who we hate. but when it's someone that we love, it's like, you know.
But you everybody's been through this. I've been to school. Like when you're in school and you're having a teacher that is hard on you or like pushes you or like you get uncomfortable, it's like that dude or I
Mm,
can't stand that person,
right.
such a horrendous teacher. Then with a couple of more like years of experience, you're like best teacher in the world,
Right.
cared about me, pushed me to accomplish more, not trying to take me out of that comfort zone, trying to make me like actually seeing that I'm better than I think myself.
Right. And you know, I've learned this to say this. So when I have to like disagree or say something or whatever, or give my 2 cents, I always try to start off with, hey, I love you, but I want to tell you, blah, 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 blah. This ain't right. And then I end it with, I love you, dude. So at least I do the sandwich. It's 2 pieces of bread. Love you, hard news, love you. So it's,
Yes.
you know, because if you just come off like, yo, man, that's effed up. You're no, you know, then it's like, bro, no. So, but it's hard to say that, right? Like start off, I love you. I'm going to got your back no matter what. But I want to let you know this is effed up right here, okay? You just got to know
Yeah.
that. And so, and I love you. Okay. And I even do that to colleagues that I don't really know. I'll tell them, I'll be like, listen, Lord, I love you, okay? But because, and so they can get the love sandwich, the hard news in the middle, love and love on the side. And it
Yeah.
usually works out because it's like they see I'm coming from a good place, you know? And
Yes.
maybe I'm wrong, okay? But
But
I'm
and
just letting
also
you know.
it's two good things and one bad thing. So that's usually like it evens out a little bit. So you're a little bit more level headed and it's not like yeah it could be emotional, but you also know that the person cares about you.
Right.
It's not they're not just trying to shit on you. They're actually trying to bring you up too. So
And that's how I would want someone to refer to me. Magnus, if you had to tell me something, I hope you would say something to that effect, right? A good,
yeah,
bad, and a good. You know, just I'm human. We all, you know, we do have to kind of wear kid gloves a lot of times, not because people are sissies, but because we love them and we want to make sure we change their mind for the better, not admonishing them and shitting on them. That's not going to change anybody's mind, you know?
yeah.
So,
No,
but
but I think that like but looking at it like it's a basically excellent technique to talk to people about bringing like not the best of news either, like you said, like sandwich it in. So if you take anything out of this like conversation we had today, that's something good that you can incorporate straight away and think about it the next time when you're in that situation when you have to give someone like some type of hardship or
tough
rough
love.
news. Yeah, it's because tough love is sometimes important, you know, like when we go through it, like when you're a teacher, a coach, or in a relationship or something like that. It's something that actually pushes people and evolve them too. So like, yes, the conversations could be horrendous, but it's also interesting how most people take like that hard conversation in a good way.
And it can make your bond even stronger, you know, with, oh, wow,
100%.
I disagree with the person, but I respect them, man. You know
Yeah.
what? Now I know, like, okay, I really respect that honesty and transparency. Now I feel like we've been vulcanized, we've been stronger, you know, but it's tough because even I have a hard time, you know, maybe communicating and saying tough things. And sometimes I'll punt it and not say shit. And that's
Yeah.
not good either. And I want someone to say something to me that's tough, you know. But anyways, in closing, was there anything else you wanted to add, Magnus?
No, it's like good conversation. Really like that we're talking about like the preparedness of when on accident happens and things like that. It kind
Yeah.
of came as a side note in, but it's good. Like remember that. Like and a question we can have for our listeners. Like we started out with, are you guys prepared for something? Yeah, please comment, write us, and also if you have any topic or questions for us, put it
Yeah.
in the comments and we get back to you. And because we love to interact with you and hear what you guys have to say and what you want to hear more about and maybe what you want to hear less about, because we're here to try to help people and get better.
100%. Don't forget.
Yep, exactly what I was taking.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we're blowing up, baby. But yeah, it is important. We all have to be prepared, not only for ourselves, but for our loved ones. And again, I'm not talking about end of the world stuff, but you know, you got a boo-boo, you got a bruise. I don't know, you know, like you have some extra money in the car, an extra $10 somewhere in case, you know, like or a couple quarters or, you know,
or
whatever.
maybe your pet gets injured.
Right. You know,
yeah.
I have emergency dog food in the house just in case, you know, or I have a first aid kit for my Mr. Rocky also. But yeah, I mean, little things that cost nothing or very little. And anyways, being prepared in our life and yada, yada, yada. But Magnus, always a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Check back in.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Come on, bro. Same here. You know, we got a bunch of great shows coming up again. And that's it, everybody. So check it out. Like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Magnus. Over and